let's look at these live images right now from that plane I was telling you about at Charles de Gaulle. You can see there the squad led by their coach Didier Deschamps are presumably about to come down the steps. There's Didier Deschamps there. You may just be able to see behind him. I think it is Hugo Lloris, the goalkeeper there. Frankly, we should ask our team in the studio with me because they know these players a little better than I do. I am joined here in Paris in our studio by our in-house football experts, James Vasina and Karim Baldé. Hello to you both. As we look at these images of the team descending, either of you want to speculate as to how they might be feeling right now? Disappointed? Happy?
You can see it on their face, can't you? I mean, you've got Kylian Mbappé there, the man who we were just talking about. This is not obviously the arrival that they wanted this whole time, coming here a month in Qatar. But they're going to be welcomed as heroes. You can see the claps going on just there for Deschamps. What a coach, what he's achieved. Yes, he's not coming back with the trophy, but anyone's going to agree that this is a huge achievement for them. But look at the faces between Mbappé, between Lloris. To be fair, Mbappé still looks like he has the same face as he had yesterday night when he was sitting on the pitch, being consoled by the president.
Yeah, and that's always the same with Kylian Mbappé because we know that he wants to win every trophy, and that's why he's so sad. We saw like a couple of seconds ago Didier Deschamps smiling because he has some victories and some defeats, but Kylian Mbappé, it will take a little bit longer for him to go ahead after this defeat because he scored a hat-trick yesterday night, but he couldn't have the trophy.
Yeah, didn't he win the Golden Boot, though,
Did indeed. But,
so he's done pretty well.
He's more than pretty well.
but clearly to see from him, it's not enough to obviously it was the trophies you say there, Karim, that you wanted, and this is what Kylian Mbappé has, is this real energy of wanting to fight for everything, and which makes him into the great player that he is, and that he's achieved so much. This is his second World Cup. He's still so young. He'll be in so many, so he's got so much still ahead of him. But I think with that determination, and it does seem crazy to see that he could be so upset having reached a second consecutive final at the age of just 23 to be there now.
He will be 24 tomorrow.
It's incredible.
Well, quite a birthday present.
Yes, exactly. He would prefer to have the second World Cup trophy of his career. But just a quick word about Kylian Mbappé, because he went through some remontadas with PSG as well, against Real Madrid, for example, to take the last example. And yesterday, they were on the verge of doing a remontada this way, in a better way than with PSG, but unfortunately, he scored a hat-trick, and then they went to overtime, and then to a shootout, but that wasn't enough. So that's why he's kind of pissed off. Sorry for this language, but yeah.
Well, what about Didier Deschamps? Let's talk about him, the coach of this team. You know, when England crashed out of the World Cup, there was some talk that Gareth Southgate, their manager, should perhaps not continue. Do you think Didier Deschamps, having got the men this far, but not quite to not quite picked up the trophy, is his position in doubt now, or is he definitely staying on? James, to you first.
I mean, the only doubt that there could be is the fact that he's coming to the end of his contract. But in terms of achievement, there's no reason really why you would want to let a man like this go. He's able to clearly, with two very different squads compared to 2018 and now, to achieve almost similar results. And the incredible thing that he managed to do about it is to bring... so France going into this World Cup didn't have, unfortunately, in the lead up to the tournament, they lost out on so many players, and they didn't have the squad that they wanted, the depth that they thought that they might be able to have. But he's been able to make something amazing out of it, and that's a huge achievement to arrive there in the final. Yes, he didn't win it, but it comes down to penalties. It comes down to the likes of Messi and everything that's going around them at that point. And there's so many, of course, Argentinians who are in the stands watching them compared to the way fewer number of French supporters. So there's no reason really at this point. Obviously, there's speculation about who might step in. There's one man who comes into mind, of course, Zinedine Zidane, who was with Deschamps at that point.
Zinedine Zidane. What do you think? Is he the likely next manager of the French team?
Yes, because he's the most awarded French coach in the market, because he's free. He's a free agent, Zidane, since he left Real Madrid. And about Didier Deschamps, the decision to continue or not with the French national team is on his hands. The French FA president Noël Gret said it during the tournament. His contract is now over, but he has the decision. He said right after the game on French television, he said basically, well, I will think about it for some days, and this is Christmas time now, and we'll see in early January there will be some decision. He has a little bit of time because the next French game will be in March, so it makes some spaces for him to think about it.
Yeah, and the agreement was if they get far in the knockout rounds, then he would be able to, it would be his decision or not, whether he was to continue or not.
But now he was a finalist.
There you go.
Yeah.
And we did have some sound connections with Clovis Casali earlier. So, Karim, maybe you can fill in some of the blanks with what Clovis was saying, because there was a bit of confusion today, wasn't there, as to whether or not there was even going to be this celebration at Place de la Concorde. Tell us about the different information we were hearing and what we do now expect to actually happen.
So many flip-flops
Indeed.
since this morning, to be honest, because at first there was this interview of the French sports minister, Amélie Oudéa-Castéra, who said on the French public broadcast, so, well, there will be a celebration at Place de la Concorde. But then the French FA president, Noël Le Graët, said, no, they want to go on holidays. That was at 11 a.m. this morning. And then 2 hours later, an official announcement coming from the French Federation saying, yes, there will be a celebration. But the thing is, we know that they don't like each other. Amélie Oudéa-Castéra, the minister, and Noël Le Graët. And Le Graët said it on an interview that was maybe 1 week ago, saying, well, I don't have any difference of opinion with her because I don't talk to her. That says it all.
That's very revealing indeed.
Yes, exactly.
And I know you were in that very place, Place de la Concorde, when France won the last World Cup, I think, right? Is that correct?
Yes, exactly.
Tell us what the atmosphere was like then, and perhaps what you think it will be, how it will be different this time.
That was hotter back in 2018, to be honest.
Very true.
Because that was in the midst of summer. That was in July. And they made this parade on the Champs-Elysees Avenue. They didn't want to do that again tonight because they lost yesterday. So that was scheduled in case they brought the trophy back home once again. But this is a kind of soft ceremony tonight. There was some flip-flops, as we said, because even some players, there were some discussions to know whether they wanted to do that or not. Finally, that will happen tonight. We'll see how many people will go there to the Place de la Concorde. But this is funny because I was there 4 years ago and people were disappointed by the way it happened because there were a bunch of people, maybe hundreds of thousands, maybe 1 million people on the Champs-Elysees Avenue. And then the bus drove through so quickly, like sometimes some people say up to 30 kilometers per hour. So we waited for hours just for some seconds because they have an appointment with the French president in the Élysée Palace.
All right, well, we'll see how long the players do stay with those fans who've gathered there in Place de la Concorde. We are going to take a short break on the programme now. We'll leave you with those images from Place de la Concorde as we wait for the French squad to arrive there. Thanks for watching and do stay tuned. More world news and sports coming up very shortly.